I stood in the doorway of my aunt's dining room on Christmas Eve, holding a gift bag, and my cousin Brianna looked right at me and said, "There's no seat for you at the table. We only set places for actual family." Everyone kept laughing, clinking glasses, pretending I wasn't even there. My mom didn't say a word. She just looked away. The door swung shut in my face. "My name's Maya. I'm 26 years old. I work part-time at the library and freelance as a graphic designer. It's not glamorous, but it's mine. I grew up on the outside of a loud, flashy, extended family. When I was 12, my mom remarried into money. My stepfather had kids, Brianna, Tyler, a whole crew of people who fit together like puzzle pieces. I was the one left over. I was quiet, creative. I didn't have the finance job or the designer handbag or the kind of confidence that fills a room. They never invited me to the inner circle holidays. Thanksgiving was always at someone else's house. Christmas was for close family only. Until this year. My mom guilted me into coming. She said it was time to make an effort. I should have known better. I wasn't the one with the perfect life or the perfect career. But I had something they never bothered to notice. I had a backbone. Has your family ever treated you like this? Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I read everyone. So there I was, walking into Aunt Diane's house with a homemade gift. I'd spent weeks drawing custom portraits of the family, pen and ink, matted, framed. I thought maybe this time they'd see the effort. The moment I stepped inside, the energy shifted. Everyone went quiet for half a second, then immediately resumed their conversations like I was invisible. Brianna was the first to speak. She announced loudly, "Oh, Maya's here. Did anyone tell her this was an invite-only dinner?" A few people laughed. Aunt Diane turned to me with that cold, composed smile she always wore. "We assumed you'd be busy, sweetheart. You're always so distant." "I RSVP'd," I said. "Weeks ago." My mom wouldn't even look at me. I scanned the dining room. The table was set beautifully, crystal glasses, folded napkins, name cards at every spot. There was no place for me, literally, no seat. Aunt Diane waved a hand vaguely toward the kitchen. "If you're hungry, there's some food in there." I stood there holding my gift bag like an idiot. Brianna's boyfriend snickered. Someone pulled out their phone and started taking pictures of the table, deliberately angling me out of the shot. I set the gift bag down on the side table. Brianna opened it right there, in front of everyone. She pulled out one of the portraits and held it up. "Oh, how sweet," she said, her voice dripping with mockery. "Did you make this in art class?" More laughter. Tyler muttered something to his girlfriend. She covered her mouth, giggling. I felt my chest tighten, but I didn't move. Then I heard my stepdad's voice, low from the next room. He was talking to Aunt Diane. "We should have never included her," he said. "She's not really ours anyway." My mom was standing right next to him. She said nothing. I turned around and walked out into the cold without a word. That night, I sat alone in my apartment staring at my phone. The family group chat lit up with photos, everyone opening expensive gifts, wine glasses raised, Brianna posting selfies with her secret Santa haul. I scrolled through, numb. Then I noticed something. I wasn't in the secret Santa at all. I texted my mom. Was I supposed to be included in the gift exchange? She didn't reply. Tyler did. "You should have known better than to show up. This isn't your holiday." I screenshotted it. I didn't reply. The next day, my mom called. "There's a brunch tomorrow," she said. "Just come. It'll smooth things over." "I don't think that's a good idea." "Maya, please, don't be so sensitive." I don't know why I agreed. Maybe part of me still wanted to believe they'd change. I showed up to the Boxing Day brunch at a cafe downtown. The whole family was there, crowded around a long table, mimosas already flowing. I sat at the very end. Aunt Diane stood up halfway through the meal, glass raised. "I just want to thank my real family," she said, her voice warm and sugary, "for another beautiful year." Brianna jumped in immediately. "And thank God we don't have to pretend anymore. Some people just don't belong." The table erupted in laughter. My mom touched my arm under the table but didn't say anything. I heard my cousin Lauren whisper to someone next to her, "She's only here because her mom married in. It's kind of sad." I set my fork down. I looked at my mom. She was staring at her plate. That's when I stopped trying to defend myself. I went quiet, started watching, listening. A week later, I found out something that made my blood boil. My stepdad had used a logo I designed for him months ago, as a favor, for his new company. He was showing it off as professionally designed work. No credit. No payment. I confronted him privately. "You used my work," I said, "without asking, without paying me." He shrugged. "You should be grateful for the exposure. We're family. We help each other." I stared at him. "Help each other," I repeated. That's right. I realized in that moment that they'd been doing this for years, calling it favors, calling it family, using me. I spent so long wanting to be part of this. I never asked if they deserved to have me. That night, I got an email. Subject line: "Regarding the estate of Ms. Lorraine Archer." I didn't recognize the name at first. Then it hit me. Lorraine Archer. My grandmother. My biological father's mother. My bio dad left when I was 4. I had almost no memory of that side of the family. The email was from a lawyer named Ms. Petrov. It mentioned a will, an inheritance, and a surviving relative who'd been looking for me. I read it 3 times. What they didn't know, what I didn't know, was that I wasn't as alone as I thought. I scheduled a meeting for the following week. I didn't tell anyone. Ms. Petrov's office was small, but neat. She was kind, professional, and she didn't waste time. "Your grandmother passed 6 months ago," she said. "She left you a trust fund, not millions, but enough to change your life." I couldn't speak. "There's more," she said. "Lorraine had a younger brother. His name is Pete. He's been trying to find you for years." She handed me a photo. A man in his 70s, smiling, standing in front of a lake. "He didn't know where you were after your mom remarried and moved." Ms. Petrov arranged a call. I'll never forget his voice. "Maya," Uncle Pete said, "is that really you?" "It's me." He laughed and I heard him choke up. "Your grandma talked about you till the end. She wanted you to know you were loved." I cried. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Meanwhile, my stepfamily was planning New Year's Eve, another exclusive event at Aunt Diane's. I wasn't invited. My mom called. "Just show up and apologize for being so sensitive." "Apologize?" "Yes. You've made things awkward." I didn't argue. I just said, "I'll be there." She sounded surprised. "Really?" "Really." Brianna texted the family group chat. "LOL, she's really coming? Desperate much?" I didn't reply. Uncle Pete and I made a plan. "I'm driving in for New Year's Eve," he said, unannounced. I told him everything. He listened, quiet, then said, "Let me handle this, kid. It's time someone stood up for you." New Year's Eve came. I walked into Aunt Diane's house calmly. No gifts, no explanations. Brianna rolled her eyes. Tyler muttered something under his breath. Dinner started. I sat at the far end of the table. Again, no real place set for me. Midway through the meal, the doorbell rang. Aunt Diane frowned and went to answer it. I heard a deep, warm voice. "I'm Maya's uncle. Mind if I join?" Confusion rippled through the room. My stepdad stood. Who? Uncle Pete stepped inside, tall, gray-haired, dignified, holding a bottle of wine. I stood. This is my Uncle Pete. From my father's side. Brianna scoffed. Oh, great. More random people. Uncle Pete didn't flinch. He looked slowly around the table, then at my empty seat. So, this is the family that's been treating my niece like garbage. Silence. Aunt Diane tried to recover. I'm sure there's been a misunderstanding. No misunderstanding, Uncle Pete said. I've heard plenty, and I've seen the texts. I pulled out my phone and held it up. Screenshots of Tyler's message. Brianna's group chat insults. Tyler went pale. Brianna stammered. That was... Uncle Pete cut her off. You used her work, dismissed her gifts, excluded her from her own family holidays. My stepdad stood. She's always been welcome. My mom spoke up weakly. Maya, you're being dramatic. I cut her off. My voice was steady. No, Mom, I'm done being quiet. Uncle Pete stepped forward. By the way, Maya's grandmother left her a trust. She's been taken care of. She doesn't need a thing from any of you. Shock. Brianna's eyes went wide. Wait, money? I looked at her. Not that it matters. I didn't come here for your approval. I came to say goodbye. I stood, calm, collected. Uncle Pete offered his arm. We walked out together. Behind us, chaos erupted. Aunt Diane trying to apologize. My mom calling my name. Brianna and Tyler arguing. I didn't look back. Uncle Pete and I went to a diner, ordered pie, laughed about the looks on their faces. He told me stories about my dad, about my grandmother, about the family I never got to know. I realized I'd spent years chasing belonging in the wrong place. A few days later, my mom tried to call. I didn't answer right away. She sent a long apology text, but it felt too late, too conditional. I replied, I forgive you, but I won't forget. I started the new year with Uncle Pete's side of the family, small, warm, real. I used part of the trust to go freelance full-time. For the first time, I understood. I was never the problem. I just needed to find the people who saw me for who I really was. If you've ever had to stand up to family betrayal, hit subscribe and tell me your story. I read every single comment and I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your location below. Maybe you're closer than you think. And if you've ever felt invisible in your own family, know this: you're not alone. Sometimes the family you need isn't the one you're born into. It's the one that chooses you. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.